Hey, Facebook. Hey, Instagram. This is Brent. Hopefully, everyone can hear me all right. We're going to do a little live stuff here, do a little teaching, a little Q&A. So hopefully some folks will hop on here in just a second. Looking forward to talking to y'all today. Hey, I see a thumbs up. Oh, there we go. Cherie or Sherry and Lewis, thanks for joining us. Mo and Kevin, thanks for being here. Papa Tommy, thanks for being here on Facebook. Shireen, happy birthday. Was it yesterday or day before, something like that? It was close. Happy birthday to you. Late birthday. All right, my name is Brent Baxter. I'm a pro songwriter. I've had cuts by Alan Jackson. Hey, Shane Barrett. By the way, looking forward to our Know the Pro with you, Shane, coming up on Freddie.com. So if y'all are interested in that, he's a successful independent song plugger. And so you can check out what we got going on over there with him at Freddie.com/how. And you can get some details on an event we've got going on with Shane here. So, all right. My name is Brent Baxter. I'm a pro songwriter. I've had cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady Antebellum, and others. And I like to help songwriters turn pro by teaching you how to write like a pro, how to do business like a pro. And when I can, I connect you to the pros like Shane we were just talking about. Today, we'll be talking about some information, some value bombs. From a Play for a Publisher event that we had back in June. Our guest was Cornett, and he's a successful music publisher with Daywind Music. So they work in Southern Gospel, they work in country, they work in bluegrass, all kinds of stuff, CCM. And so speaking of connecting you with the pros, we have an event about quarterly where we bring in a successful music publisher. We go through the Songwriting Pro and Freddie communities, find some songs we think will interest them. We all get on a video conference, and our publisher guest listens to the songs, gives feedback, and it's just a great time to for guys like you and girls like you to meet with legit music publishers and to get feedback on your songs and to get that industry feedback and get that honest correction where you need it, and also encouragement from people that are pros that are in it working every day and that know what they're talking about. So hey, Sam, thanks for being here on Facebook, and Rita, and looks like Joseph and Lacey and Bill. So thanks for being over here on Instagram. So what we're going to do today is we're going to share some of the insights from Cornett with Daywind Music from our Play for a Publisher event. And so it was just basically too good to keep to myself, and for the people that watched the replay the first time around and the people that were there. So I just want to share some of it with you. And just remember that these are not direct quotes from Jodan. So Jodan, if you're watching, not direct quotes, but these are kind of the gist of what he had to say, because I want it to be helpful for you guys. So we went through, and basically how it worked is the 10 songwriters and I were on a video conference with our publisher guest, in this case, Jodan. And so he listens to the music, so we listen to the song, and he gives his feedback. So this is some of the feedback he had based on those songs, and they were all good songs. So this is number one. Oh, also, hey, if we're going to be doing some Q&A after this. So if you have questions about the music business, feel free to hit me up in the comments here on Facebook or Instagram. We'll get to those after this. And also, if this is helpful, be sure and share it. Share it in Facebook groups, share it on Instagram, any way you have to share it out. I'd appreciate it, because if it's helpful for you, hopefully it'll help other people as well. Also, you can share the blog post that this is based off of, is linked up in the Facebook description, video description here, and also at the link in the bio on my Instagram. So you can get over there, and if you want to share the blog post around, I'd appreciate that as well. All right, number one. Up-tempo is key for commercial appeal. Most albums typically have about 2 ballads to 8 mid or up tempos. So your catalog should reflect this. And I thought that was interesting, not just the hopefully more obvious statement of up-tempo is king. So meaning faster songs with more energy, songs that move. They have more commercial appeal than slow songs. I mean, and you just listen to the radio and you're going to hear mostly mid-tempos and up-tempos. But I thought what was a great addition to that piece of advice that he gave was your catalog should reflect this. And it makes sense. You may be like, well, I write mostly ballads, but at least I have I do a couple tempos to kind of throw a bone to radio. No, man, it's so competitive, and you want a lot of those songs. So I think it is wise to have your catalog, what you're writing. If you write in a month, if you write, say, 10 songs in a month, are they do the kind of average out 2 ballads to 8 mid or up tempos, or is it the other way around? Or are you writing 8 ballads to only 2 mids or up tempos? I know for myself, looking back over the last couple of years, yeah, my ratio reflects radio. And so tempos are just easier to get cut. If you want to get your songs recorded by other people, tempo is the way to go. So I think that's a good way of looking at it, not just knowing that, but going, does my catalog reflect that? If over my past 10 songs, is it 2 ballads to 8 mid tempos and up tempos? And then over my next 10 songs, am I thinking about that as I'm writing songs, going, ooh, I've had a lot of ballads, I need to get some tempos in there. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, your chorus. Your song's chorus is prime real estate, and it's your opportunity and where you need to blow people's minds. In a business this competitive, your chorus really needs to stand out and really needs to be the part where, you're blowing people's minds, right? And so the chorus, it is valuable real estate. That's where your best stuff should be. It's where the most catchy stuff, the most heart-rending stuff, the most amazing stuff, whatever it is, that song, whatever it does, whether it's meant to move the heart or the booty, you put your most moving stuff in your chorus. And always just remember, is this a great chorus? If you have great verses, that's awesome. We want great verses, because if your verse sucks, they're probably not going to get to your chorus. And so you want a killer verse, but don't rely on that to save your song. Like if the chorus is just all right or pretty good, you need that chorus to slay people. And so always be looking for a little more ear candy, something a little more catchy, more anthemic, whatever it is for your song to make that chorus really pop and really stand out. Also, does your chorus, and this is me talking, does your chorus kind of sneak up on you? Like you don't really notice you're in the chorus, or does it hit where, into the verse or into that pre-chorus, then bam, that chorus takes off with a whole new place and a whole new energy? That's great if you can do that, and I suggest you do that when you can. So let's see here. What's another one? Have your idea and stick with it. Don't let your song wander off topic. So that's some more advice from Joe Dan. And that's true. We have 3.5 minutes, right, to make a strong impression on the listener, to give them to change their life, right, or to make them laugh, to make them cry, make them dance or think. And so we don't have time for subplots. We don't have time for side quests. We don't have time for all this other stuff. We have to be very clear on our idea, why we're writing this, who it's for, what the service of the song is, right, what the takeaway for the listener is, what's in it for the listener. And then you just got to aim right at that and just keep aiming at that with every line in your song. We don't have time for filler. It's all killer, no filler. That's how you have to look at it. And not just killer, but on point, right? It doesn't matter how fast the arrow flies if it hits the wrong bullseye or doesn't hit the bullseye. So not only, because you may have some lines that are like, oh, this is a great line. Yeah, but if it's not serving your song, if it's not aiming at what you want to aim at, take that awesome line and let that be the seed for another song. And now you already have one song that's almost done, and now you have another song that's already starting to cook. So I think that's a way to look at it. But yeah, you just have to be really focused on what is the takeaway for the listener. What is this nugget of gold I'm giving them? Everything's got to point at that. You got to stay focused on that. All right, let's see here. I thought this was really interesting what Joe Dan had to say. He said, if I like a song, I'll live with it for a long time and try to hate it. If I can't hate it, then I can pitch it. And I thought that was a really cool way of saying it. So, and again, this has come from Joe Dan. So this is a publisher that's in it every day. This is what he does for a living. And so many songs come at you, and they're so good. A lot of good songs, right? Or songs that have something about them that's special. And of course, he's getting songs turned in every day from hit songwriters, that work for Daywind and that write for him. And then he gets songs from other places like Play for Publisher event. I mean, there are some songs there. He's like, okay, send this to me, or I'm going to download this. I want to hear this again, that he was fired up about in the moment. But he's done this long enough to know, I need to make sure this is really great, because his reputation as a publisher is only as good as the songs he brings in. And he doesn't want to play someone a song that they're going to like for a minute and then get over it before they cut it. He wants to bring them songs that they're going to live with and love for however long it is until they cut it, and they're going to love it enough to single it and play it every night. That's the kind of song he's looking for. So he'll go and he'll live with it and listen to it a bunch and start start trying to pick at it. Start trying to wear it down. Start trying to find the things about it he doesn't like. It's the opposite of what we should do with people in our lives, right? We don't need to look for the negative in people. But in the song, he's trying to tear it down. What can I hate about this? And if he can't do that, that means he can walk into any room. Not that the song would be right for every room, but he can walk into any room, any pitch meeting, and if he's playing that, he feels rock solid about it because he can't hate it. He still loves it. And I think that's a great great kind of level bar to set for your own writing is, with your own songs, can I hate it? So some of y'all may have a problem with hating your songs and trying to go, I just can't love my own stuff. But if you think it's great, look at it through that critical eye. Look at it like someone else might and go, can I hate this? What can I hate about this? And if you're not able to, that might mean your song is right. All right. Look, again, if this is helpful, share. I saw a couple people have shared this already on Facebook. Thank you. And if this is helpful for you, hopefully it'll be helpful for your friends. And if you bring them helpful stuff, then you get to be the hero, which is always nice. Who doesn't like to be the hero? Let's see here. Your genre dictates your lyrics. So again, this is from Joe Dan from the Play for Publisher event. Your genre dictates your lyrics. For example, Southern Gospel can have more of an old-timey way of saying it in their lyrics that work for Southern Gospel, but it won't work for contemporary country or contemporary Christian. I think that's really important to think about, because you may write I've had this experience writing with, some of Joe Dan's writers over at Daywind and some other writers in that world where I may throw something out in a more current or country kind of way of saying it. And they're like, well, that's cool. Okay, but we can't say that though. It's a little too cool. Remember our audience. This is more for like grandma. We got to dial it down, still say it in an interesting way, but in a way that works for that market. And so you're learning the lingo, you're learning the dialect of each genre. And vice versa in contemporary Christian, if you say some stuff in an old school hymnal kind of way, it may not work. Whereas it would be perfect for Southern Gospel, but in a contemporary Christian song, it may sound too old school, too hymnal, and that's not what the audience wants. And so each genre dictates the lyrics. And so same thing like country, country music, you can talk about not only does it dictate the lyrics, it obviously dictates the subject matter. You're not talking about tailgates and tan lines and beer and stuff in the Southern Gospel song, but you can get away with it for days in country. Same thing as contemporary Christian. So be aware of the genre you're working in, and then you want to build it for that genre and make sure it's genre appropriate. Let's see here. What else we got? It's great when the chorus is so hooky that I can hear it only once and sing it back to you. So we had at least one of those at the last Play for Publisher, and Joe Dan was like, man, that's great. I heard it one time. I could sing it back to you right now. And I think you did sing some of it back to the writer. That's the bar. We want our choruses to be so catchy that people can sing it back, that it leaves that much of an impression after one time of hearing the song. Not only do they want to hear it again, they can kind of sing it back to you. And so that kind of dovetails off. We talked about the chorus being the prime real estate. It's your chance to blow somebody's mind, make them laugh, cry, dance, think, whatever that is. And so just always be going back and thinking, is my chorus catchy enough? Can someone sing this back to me? Is it so complicated that it's more complicated than most songs in my genre, and it's not what the genre wants, and people aren't going to be able to sing it back to me? Or is it simple enough but compelling enough that they can and they want to remember it and sing it back to me after it's over? At least parts of it, right? That part, that hook, that kind of thing. So you want to be able to do that. Another one that I thought was interesting, and we'll do some Q&A after this. So if you have a question, you can hit me up in the comments. One of the writers is, very good song. That's why it made it through. But when they sent in the lyric, they said, hey, this third line in the second verse could be this, or put a little or this, and they gave an alternate line. And it was just like they weren't quite settled on which line to use. He said, man, don't give a publisher an option A, option B on your lyric when you're sending it to the publisher, when you getting to know them, when you're courting. You hope that they love your song. He goes, it can throw them off, right? Because then they stop thinking about how much they love it to go, which one's better? And then they start looking for negatives in each of those lines and which one would be better and stuff. It can kind of throw them off. You need to be confident in your lyrics. You're the songwriter, he said. You need to be confident in your lyric. Pick one and roll with it. Now, it's different than, if you're working for that publisher, Then you can talk to them about, hey, I'm not sure, or you play them one line, you go, and if they love it, great. And if they don't love it, you can be like, well, I had this other line here I was thinking about. I wasn't quite sure. What's your advice? But that's when you've already built this relationship with the publisher. For new publishers, pick one, be confident, go with that one, and let them decide if they love it or not. If they love it enough and that one line that you were just on the fence about throws them off, they weren't in love with your song enough to begin with. If it's one line, you know, it's just somewhere in the verse or whatever in the bridge, or even one line in the chorus, if they love the rest of your song enough, but that one line throws them, they may mention it. And you can be like, oh, I got this other thing. What do you like about that better? So I thought that was a really good piece of advice. Just don't give the publisher work to do. Make it easy on them. And it may not be the best line, but at least if the rest of the song is strong enough, great, you can have that conversation. If the rest of the song isn't killing them anyway, it's not going to matter if you change that one line. So, hey, listen, I hope you all found this helpful. We can get into some Q&A, but I want you to know that if you feel like you're ready to play your song for a legit music publisher, I have an opportunity. Because, again, what's my purpose here is to help you write like a pro, help you do business like a pro, and help you connect to the pros. So this definitely falls under connect to the pros. And then it also going to help you write like a pro because you get the advice from an actual hit publisher. So I have the next Play for Publisher event coming right up. It's going to be in September, and our guest is Matt Lindsay of Matt Lindsay Music. So Matt's had his hand in a whole bunch of hits. He's the guy, for example, that pitched Who Are You When I'm Not Looking, which was the #1 for Blake Shelton. He got a cut by Joe Nichols before that. He's worked with several #1 songwriters. He's had cuts by Garth and Dixie Chicks and Willie Nelson and Bonnie Raitt and all kinds of folks, right? Blake Shelton and Joe Nichols and others. So he's been getting songs recorded for years. So he knows what's up, and he's going to listen to your songs, right? So the way it works is this. And there's a link in the blog post at the bio and in the video description here. So if you want to click on over, get all the details and reserve your spot, you can do that now. Basically how it works is you send in your song. I listen to them all. I pick the 10 that I think are going to have the best chance of catching Matt's ear in a good way. I think we're open to everything. He specializes in country and bluegrass. I know those are two places he's actively pitching. But he's, had cuts in like Bonnie Raitt, so that's a blues rock kind of thing too. So he has hands in a lot of pies. But I listen and I whittle him down to those 10 I think have the best chance of catching his ear in a good way. Then we hop on a video conference and he listens to the songs and he gives feedback, and you get to ask him your follow-up questions. So it's a face-to-face, real-time interaction, and we've had people get publisher meetings out of this. I told you about Joe Dan. He was like, okay, I'm downloading this. Is this open publishing? What's the deal with this? And other people's like, call me next time you're in town. Let's have coffee. I want to hear more stuff. Hey, if you do a rewrite. No, I do not want to take a call right now. Anyway, if you want to do a rewrite, send it to Brent and send it to me, that kind of stuff. So people are making connections with legit publishers through this event. So I think it's worth your time. Now, only 10 songs make it through to the event itself. However, the good news is everybody that basically gets a ticket for the event comes away with something. First thing you get is a song checklist. So it goes through you can kind of debug your song on your own, ask you all these questions to kind of go through your song. It's like, does the second verse go somewhere new from the first verse? All this little stuff that you can help you debug and strengthen your songs on your own. The other thing is you get to watch the replay of the event. So you won't be joining us live, but everyone that purchases a ticket for the event will get to watch the replay. And so you get to hear the songs, you get to hear Matt's response to it, and then you get to hear, the follow-up questions. So it's an hour and a half. So you get to basically be a fly in the wall that you can watch at your convenience, and you can watch them multiple times. And so you get to watch that and you get to learn from that. And it's like being inside a publisher meeting. So if you wanted to start having publisher meetings, but you haven't had one yet, and you just kind of curious, what is it like to be in there? What are publishers like? This is your chance to see what that's like. Also, if you have your eye on Matt and go, oh, I want to hit him up sometime, this is a chance to hear what he likes, what he doesn't like, how he thinks, how he operates, right? This is valuable stuff for you to check out. And so it's only $15 for this opportunity. So you can go over the link in bio. and the link in the blog post. So find out all the details and stuff. Deadline to get your song in is September 1st. So you got a month basically to get your stuff together and get that in before I start listening. All right, let's take your questions. All right, so Chris says, always rehearse a song before you go in the studio so you don't wind up paying for rehearsal time instead of recording time. Dude, so true. That is not fun. Yeah, you want to rehearse for free and not pay to do that in there. Everyone gets annoyed by that, all the pros in there, because they're like, what are you doing? You should know your stuff before you get in here. Let's see. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Dion. Hey, Imsuk. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Brent. You always bring. No. Okay, there we go. You always bring some great lyrics. How do you come? Oh, do you come with a full song, or are you just picking the best ideas? So I think I know what you're asking here. So the way I operate before co-writes, when I go in, I'm doing my homework. So I'm like, who am I writing with? What are their strengths? It might be what genre are they working in? Because I work in country, I work in bluegrass, Southern gospel, CCM, all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, what does my co-writer specialize in? What is their superpower? Okay, it's country. Okay, well, I'm looking through my country stack of ideas because I'm always just about every workday honing ideas and woodshedding to bring stuff in. And then I want to have a stack of stuff to bring in. That way, when we're like, oh, what do you got? I got some stuff. We might not write my idea, but we might. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. A lot of times we do because I've thought it out, and that tends to be the hardest part of the co-write is figuring out what you want to write about. And so that's kind of my superpower is coming in with an idea going, hey, here's my title, here's my idea, and here's the angle I have for it. And I might come in with anywhere from a bit of lyric, like some verse and chorus lyric, to just a chorus or an outline of where we want to go. And then we start working on melody. Sometimes my co-writer will bring in the melody that have parts of it, a vibe, something, and we go, okay, well, what do I have that fits that vibe? And so I like working from that too, because if you already know you like the bit of melody, then that's encouraging that your song's going to find a good home. Other times they may just come in and go, hey, let's write for this artist because I have an in with this camp. Great. What do they need? And we try to do our intel on what's a good kind of thing to write for that artist. And then I'll look through my ideas and going, what do I have that's strong for that artist? And so it works all kinds of ways. It's beautiful when it does work. All right, let's look over on Instagram. Facebook, hit me with your questions, and I'll look for something here on Instagram. Let's see here. Oh, thought I saw one. Let's see. What's the ticket to hit songwriting? That is a big one. In general, you need your song to be sticky. It needs to be memorable. It needs to be timely, meaning it needs to feel current for your particular market. It needs to be targeted to the market and be market appropriate. It sure helps to have tempo, right? And you need to network it. And it needs to get to the people that can say yes, to the artist or to the producer, to the label. So tempo helps, positive helps. Let's see. Sticky, it's memorable. Positive helps. Oh, it's well positioned for the market. You know, imagery is awesome, and networked. That's a big deal as well. So anyway, there's a couple things, but there's no magic. There's no magic formula to it. That's why hits are different, and people get surprised by it. Rita, you're new and you appreciate it. Well, thank you. How do I prefer receiving the song? For instance, a video or just recording? Okay, for the Play for Publisher, it talks about that in the details. Basically, no, I don't want a video. Not that I wouldn't love to see your beautiful face or slideshow or whatever, but I need something that I can send to Joe Dan to download. And so he's going to want a sound file. So it can be a link, as long as I can download from there. It can be an MP3, something like that, a WAV file, whatever I can download. That way I can send it to Joe Dan for him to listen to. I mean, I can play it and do my listening for a video, but if I love it and it makes the top 10, I don't have it in a form I can get to the publisher. So that's not very helpful. So links are cool as long as I can download from there, or stream from there is great, but as long as I can download it, but also MP3s and WAV files are good. So you're welcome, Imsuk. Let's see. Hey, Christina, thanks for joining us. Let's see here. I'm up for some more questions. Y'all don't have a lot today. A little quiet. It's lunchtime. I'm ready for lunch. Haven't had breakfast yet. All right. Well, I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions, so we can wrap this up a little bit faster if you don't have anything. But again, hey, Joe Dan, if you watch this, thanks again for being our guest on the last Play for Publisher. Matt Lindsay, if you're watching, buckle up. I have a feeling these people are going to have some good songs. And that's been a blessing to have good songs to play for these publishers. And I can only play what you guys and girls send in. So send me some good stuff. That way I can impress Matt with my A&R skills. But it's a great opportunity. People are getting meetings out of this. People are getting relationships with song pluggers. And thing is about this, it's not so much a way to get like, I want to play this one song and this publisher is going to love it and they're going to go out and get a cut and get me $1 million or whatever. Great if that happens. Very low chance of that happening for any one song in the music business, whether you're signed to a publisher or you're just playing for a publisher or not. What this is, it's an at-bat to start a relationship with a publisher. And that's so important. So if your song blows them away, they're going to want to hear more. And if you present yourself in a good professional manner, they're going to want to, and your song's great, they're going to want to meet with you. They're going to want to continue, keep an eye on this, keep an eye on you, because they know it's all about relationships and they need great songwriters, not just great songs, but great songwriters who can consistently write great songs. And so this is a chance to get on somebody's radar. All right, a couple new comments. Do we have a question? All right, hey, Dave. Any tips on how to contact music supervisors for sync licenses? Man, Dave, that is something I've not gotten into much. I'm starting to write more for that stuff, but it's as co-writers approach me and they're like, hey, I've had this relationship and we can get this stuff to somebody, but hey, Lyric Boy, do your thing. So I've kind of been approached by that. I haven't gone out and contacted music supervisors and stuff directly because I'm not the artist. I'm not singing my own stuff. I don't have my own masters. We have demos, but mainly I'm not shopping those around because there's not a whole lot of use for demos or for country in the sync world. So I'm kind of letting those opportunities come to me and trying to write with people that are aiming for that. So sorry, I don't have a whole lot of advice for you there, Dave. But I know if you just there's a thing called TuneFind, I believe, which is great for, you can look up a series on TuneFind like Punisher, and you can listen to the songs that were used in the cues, find out who the artist is, and so you get a sense of like this TV show likes this type of music, this vibe, and then I'm sure Google search for music supervisor and the show, and you'll be able to find out who they are. Maybe you can reach out through LinkedIn or some different ways. So hopefully that's helpful, but do your research. Adrio, maybe? Do you accept songs from outside the USA? Yes, I do. And actually that leads me to my next Facebook question from Sam Spears, who is in Scotland. And he's been a member of the Play for Publisher event, or a guest there a couple times. So yeah, love songs from outside the US just as much as I love songs from inside the US. It does not matter. So Sam's been through there a couple times and from Scotland. So there you go. Speaking of Sam, your question, Too Real for Radio. I have a song that folks messaged me to check if it was true. BB, oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, a DJ messaged me saying, "Don't tell me you don't have a little sister," or "Tell me you don't have a little sister." Well, I don't. Then he loved the song and played it twice. So go for it. Yeah, Too Real for Radio is cool. For things like this, for the Play for Publisher, there are two ways you can go. One is like, this is a big old smash, and it's written great. Another one is like, it may not be like the way I listen. There have been some songs that have made it through that I'm like, I don't know exactly what the publisher would do with this. I'm not sure a market spot for this, but it's so well written. It's so compelling. Like, again, looking for songwriters, not just songs. I'm like, there's a songwriter in there. And sometimes a song is too raw, too real for radio. And so maybe the publisher can't run out and get that song placed. But I'm like, man, there's a great songwriter in there somewhere. There's something in the song that's really, really cool. And so some of those have made it through. And other songs have made it through that just feel like this is right down the middle smash. Let's go play it. Or this sounds like something that can get cut and I know where to go with it. So I try to keep it balanced that way. Because again, we're looking for songwriters, not just songs. All right. You're welcome, Dave, for the TuneFind Avenue. Hopefully TuneFind is the right one. I haven't used it in a little while, but I was doing some research for a sync thing I was writing one time, and I think it was tunefind.com. Hey, Janie West. Hey, good to see you. Janie and I used to work together at Blue Water Music for a hot minute there. All right. Any other questions? Facebook or Instagram? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and shut this down. We're at 30 minutes or so. So I appreciate y'all. Again, if you're interested in the Play for Publisher event, you can get that through the link in the bio at Instagram. At the bottom of the blog post has a link to the new one. Over on Facebook, there's a link in the video description so you can find out about that as well. Again, if this is helpful, if this is stuff you think it will help your buddies, make yourself look cool, give it a share. I'd appreciate it. More songwriters we help, the better the music gets, right? And we all love music. So, all right, thanks a lot. Have a great afternoon, and go finish your lunch. Get back to work, or not. Even better if not. Bye.